Hello again, friends, and welcome into another edition of Wrestling with Rusty for April. No, not April. I keep saying April, May 17th, 2024. I promise I'm competent. 25, excuse me. May 17th, 2025. It's been a rough week. The purpose of this video is to pay tribute to my friend, longtime friend, from 1990 to 2025, who died a few days ago, Richard Anthony Williams of Charlotte, North Carolina, better known as Rick Williams. Um, for those of you that tuned in to see wrestling or hear me talk about wrestling, rather, this is not about wrestling. This is just about my friend Rick Williams, who was a wonderful human being. I knew Rick from approximately 1990 until his death just a few days ago in 2025. Um, what can I say about Rick? I don't get to go to his funeral slash memorial service because he lives in Charlotte and I'm in Pittsburgh and I have no way to get there. So this is the only way that I can express my sorrow and my true feelings about a good man and a person that has touched my life in so many ways. Rick and I met during my time working as a volunteer at the time for Cablevision of Charlotte, and I did some freelance work, and so did Rick later on at Cablevision of Charlotte. Rick went on to Channel 36 WCNC TV as a weekend sports producer. Later on, I went on to other avenues in television, including an internship at WCNC. So Rick and I didn't work together anymore after our time at Cablevision. But while we were there, I saw an honest man, a true friend, and just one great human being. And then after our time was over at Cablevision, he and I still stayed in contact. He was a real friend in an era when the word friend gets tossed around like yesterday's food and gets used in place of acquaintance. I know many people in life, past and present, but most of those people are acquaintances of mine. They're not friends. I was proud to call Rick Williams my friend, a true friend, a good man. He taught me that people would sometimes discriminate against me because of my wheelchair and not hire me. He taught me that I can overcome many things. I knew that before I met Rick Williams, but he continued to drive it home during our friendship to make sure that I would never forget that the wheelchair does not have to stop me. Um, he taught me what it was like to be loyal. He taught me a lot about sports and football, and he loved the Green Bay Packers. I did not love the Green Bay Packers. I've always loved the Pittsburgh Steelers. But we had a common interest in sports, not just football, but our main sport was football. Um, I've heard it often said many times in life that with every lesson in life, there's a blessing as well. In the case of Richard Anthony Williams slash Rick Williams, Rick Williams was my lesson about the things I just told you and many others, but he was also one of the greatest blessings that God ever put in my life. I'll be okay, but it'll take a while. This is not the first death I've had in my life, and unfortunately, it will not be the last. But what I can tell you is I will miss Rick Williams more than most people that have died in my life. Rick Williams was the definition of true friend. And that's rare, R-A-R-E, rare in life. There's a lot of people that you become acquainted with. That's what I mean when I say acquaintances. Rick Williams was not an acquaintance. He was a true friend. I'll miss you, Rick. I love you. I cannot put into words the amount of respect, admiration, love, friendship, whatever label you want to put with it that's positive. That was Rick Williams. That was my friend. And I was blessed to know Rick Williams. To the Williams family, to Jane, his wife, we've lost a great man. To his children, Ann Hudson and Chauncey, you've lost a great dad. But take the lessons that your dad taught you in life and carry on his legacy and continue to be the great people that I know you can be, even though I haven't seen you in many years. To Jane, I'll look forward to getting your call sometime down the road. Hopefully you'll get a chance to see this video. To the rest of the Williams family, like his sister that I talked to on the phone, but I've never met, or his mother that I've never met, or anyone else that I've never met that's part of the Williams family. You know how much of a blessing Rick Williams was in your life. Well, if you can, multiply that by about 100, and that should give you a general idea of the blessing that Rick Williams was in my life. Rusty Loudermilk is a better person because of Richard Anthony Rick Williams. In the past, the present, and the future. And as I record this video on May 17th, 2025, again, May 17th, 2025, I will never forget Rick Williams. I don't want to forget Rick Williams, because if I forget who Rick Williams was, then I forget part of me. Rick Williams will always be a part of me. He was a great friend and a great man and a wonderful human being to anybody that knew him. But if you knew Rick Williams and you're watching this video, you already know that. I'm just trying to tell you what a blessing he was to my life. I did not know that he had cancer. I guess he wanted to keep that private from me. I wish he hadn't kept it private from me. But I don't know why he did. But Rick, I love you. I'll miss you. And Rusty Loudermilk is a better person because of Rick Williams. And at age 56, as I record this video on May 17th, 2025, you need to know that you may be gone from this earth, but you will never be forgotten by myself and many others who love you. And speaking for myself, once again, you made my life better. My life is not perfect. It never will be perfect, but it's better because of Rick Williams. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your days at Cablevision. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for our talks about sports. Thank you for letting me come to your home before. Thank you for every interaction that I ever had with you in the past. I will carry it until the day I die and I leave this world, whether I have 1 year or 100 years. And because you were a man of God, if I'm lucky enough to make it to heaven, I know, Rick Williams, I will see you again, my friend. Godspeed. This is not goodbye. This is only goodbye for now. I love you, Rick. I'll carry you in my heart forever. God bless Rick Williams and the entire Williams family. Jane, Chauncey, and Hudson. I hope to hear from you all down the road at some point. My phone number is 724-826-0449. Thank you. To those of you that tuned into this video to watch pro wrestling, we'll get back to pro wrestling another day. But I had to pause from talking about pro wrestling on this channel and pay tribute to my longtime friend and colleague, Richard A. Williams of Charlotte, North Carolina, better known as Rick Williams of Charlotte, North Carolina. Godspeed, my brother. I'll love you, and I'll miss you for now, but I'll never forget you. You were a great friend, and even though we were not related, I considered you my brother and my friend. Your legacy will live on with myself and anybody else that knew you, and anybody who had the pleasure of knowing you knows how special you really were. Richard A. Williams, you are gone from the earth right now, but you will never be forgotten. I love you, Rick Williams, and we'll see you down the road. Thank you, everybody. We'll get back to talking about wrestling in the next video, but this video had to be a tribute to my friend Richard Anthony Williams, better known as Rick Williams. Thank you, everybody. God bless.